as it stands right now, y'all the twos, and we the ones. What's up, YouTube? We're back once again with another sport topic, and today we'll talk some football, Houston Texans football, kind of, sort of. We'll talk about the NFL draft. More specifically, we'll talk about the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks entering the NFL draft, especially as of right now, the Houston Texans have the number one overall pick. Now, I know it's still some season left. Things can change, but as of right now, the Texans are in position to have the number one overall pick. More than likely, they're going to be going quarterback with their number one overall pick. People been asking me my opinion about quarterbacks, so I'm going to give you guys my list of the quarterbacks going to the season. So we're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. Before we get in that, like I've been telling you before, if you're liking the content, man, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're watching all the videos. Make sure you comment all the videos. Make sure you're sharing all the videos on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share it on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The links in the description below. And if you're watching this video on the day it's uploaded, man, be a real one. Hop in the chat and tell your boy happy birthday. Hop in the comments, tell your boy happy birthday. It's your boy's birthday. So if you watch this video the day it drops, make sure you tell me happy birthday. Be a real one and tell a real one happy birthday. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate all support. Y'all helping the channel grow. I really appreciate that. Now, let's talk about it, because like I was saying, like, we're going into a couple more weeks until the college season's over. You know, got bowl games and championship games and the college football tournament or college football playoffs. So I think this will be a good time so you guys can get familiar with some of the guys you haven't heard of. Maybe you haven't watched them, and that way you can watch some actual live games instead of just watching highlights on YouTube. We just show you the good, don't show you the bad. So you can actually watch the real games and see exactly if you want your team, even though you're not a Texas fan, if you might want your team to draft one of these quarterbacks. So I'm going to just give you guys a guide, just so you know, give you guys my list, who I believe is the top 5 quarterbacks going into this NFL draft. Now, my first guy, the guy who I want the Texans to take with the number one overall pick, my first guy on my board is C.J. Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State. The kid's 6'3", 215 pounds, undefeated Ohio State, looking like they're going to be able to get into the college football playoffs if they take care of business against Michigan. As of right now, he has 169 completions off of 249 attempts for 67.9 completion percentage, 2,453 yards with 29 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And man, he's a pure pocket passer, big, strong arm guy, able to deliver the ball in all different type of platforms, able to throw on all different type of platforms, able to deliver the ball with touch, with accuracy, has great deep ball accuracy, puts the ball exactly where it needs to be, great ball placement, able to move in the pocket, able to shift and use his feet to move around the pocket. I seen him take hits. Like, the defender is right there in his lap, taking the hit, and he's delivering a rocket, like delivering an accurate pass for a first down, for a completion, for a touchdown. The knock on him is, one, that he doesn't run enough, because they're not used to seeing the black quarterback not running. They're not used to seeing the black quarterback being an actual pocket passer. They want everybody to be Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, things like that, when the best quarterback in the league right now is a black guy who sits in the pocket and is able to deliver football and Patrick Mahomes. But I digress. I think, and also people, the other knock, he played at Ohio State. Don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. They talk about Terrell Pryor and Justin Fields and all these other quarterbacks. He doesn't play like none of those quarterbacks. The actual quarterback that he plays like, if you want to connect him to Ohio State, a former Ohio State quarterback, is Joe Burrow. Him and Joe Burrow are extremely similar from body type, from play style, from the way they play. And I know a lot of things about, he got a whole bunch of 5-star athletes. He got Marvin Harrison Jr., has a good offensive line. I didn't hear anybody say those type of things about Joe Burrow when he was at LSU playing with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Thaddeus Moss and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Christian Fulton in the secondary, and Derek Stingley in another part of the secondary, win the national championship, win the Heisman Trophy, being the number 1 overall pick, and then 2 years later leading this team in the second year to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, and they did get Jamar Chase and things like that, but I don't hear anybody complaining about that. And I think that they play exactly similar. Extremely similar. They have the same body type, and I think they have a lot of the same skill sets. I think that's my NFL comp to him, would be Joe Burrow. And I believe he's the best quarterback, just like I believe Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in that draft. I believe that C.J. Stroud's the best quarterback in this draft. Don't let the Ohio State thing fool you. Don't let he's not mobile enough, because he showed you in this game the other day against was it was it not, I'm about to say Northern Iowa. I forgot what game it was. I can't think of the name. Purple logo with the N. That game was a rainstorm. I know he didn't only threw for only had like 70 yards throwing. But it was kind of reminiscent of that game against Cleveland with Deshaun Watson when they only threw like 10 passes. It was raining. It was windy. They really wasn't throwing the football like that. It was one of those games in bad weather conditions. You had to just turn around and hand the football off. I think he had 8 yards rushing himself. He showed you what he could do with his legs if need be. He would prefer to sit up in the pocket and throw the football. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. I've been saying that before the season started. I've been saying it all season. No matter how much I like these other guys I'm about to talk about, I believe he's the best quarterback in this draft. It should be the number 1 draft pick. It should be the first quarterback taken off the draft, off the board. I think it should be C.J. Stroud, Ohio State. Now, my number 2 quarterback, it's a guy who won the Heisman last year. Everybody know Bryce Young. Most people's number 1. Bryce Young is 6 foot, 194 pounds. And I think that's probably his biggest knock is how little he is. Bryce Young has 171 completions off of 272 attempts. 62.9 completion percentage, 2,234 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Now, y'all got to remember his numbers a little bit skewed because he missed a couple games because he got hurt. But that's kind of his knock. Is the injury, not the injury, but him being very small frame, him being short, a lot of comparisons to, what's dude's name? Kyler Murray and things like that. But and also you won't get a chance to see him in the college playoffs more than likely because they lost to LSU, lost to Tennessee. They probably won't be in the college playoffs. But what I want to say about him is the dude is special, man. Like, for him to be that small, he has a strong arm, a legit strong arm, and his footwork and his mechanics are very, very top. A very, very top-notch, very, very top of the echelon. It was a play against Tennessee where he was scrambling out of the pocket. And the guy came, and he, in the middle of scrambling, he stops on a dime, straights back up, and gets in perfect throwing form. Perfect form, like a perfect quarterback stance. And delivers, like he just stops on a dime, gets in perfect quarterback stance, and delivers a rope for a first down. The game against LSU, it was a play where he's getting bottled up, and he's getting bottled up. He breaks out of there, runs, and just throws a dime for a touchdown. A game against Texas, he won that game against Texas when he was able to elude that sack and able to break for a run and get first down. But also, that game against LSU showed a lot of tails, because when that pressure was coming up the front because of his size, he really couldn't see it. Now he was able to fix it and clean up, and none of the losses. The loss against Tennessee wasn't his fault. The loss against LSU wasn't his fault. But he did start slow in the LSU game, and then the Texas game was slow because he started off slow in that game. So with him, you do need to make sure you gotta have a good offensive line. You gotta make sure that you get protection up front because of the weight and the play style he plays. But the dude has a lot of special ways to make plays, like Deshaun Watson did. I know a lot of people used to compare him to Deshaun Watson. I see it because he's able to break free and make plays out of that. Like how Deshaun was, he's able to make broken plays, and not like how John Manziel would just play backyard football. And I was a huge John Manziel fan back at A&M. Not like that. He makes plays like how Deshaun would. He'll get out of that and make an actual quarterback move. And like the game against Texas, he had to run. Like the game, Deshaun, I forgot what game it was, when Deshaun actually had to break away and make a run. But you know, when Deshaun got kicked in his eye, and the play he makes against Buffalo, and the play he made against Jacksonville and London, he was always able to try to make a play with his arm, even though he was doing a lot of scrambling and running. The game against Kansas City's rookie year, when he moves the ball from one hand and delivers a 4-yard touchdown to Will Fuller. That's the type of stuff that Bryce Young does have, and does do. He has that it factor. He's very, very special. I wouldn't be mad if the Texans took him. I prefer CJ, obviously, but I see why people would lean towards him because he is very, very special. And those, I think he's very, 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 he's a very, very special talent. Now, my number 3 quarterback is a guy who a lot of people might have as their number 4, maybe number 5. It's Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee. Hendon Hooker, and I didn't realize how big he was. He's 6'4", 218 pounds. I said quarterback out of Tennessee. He has 179 completions off of 252 attempts for 71 completion percentage, 2,533 yards, has 21 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Tennessee is with 7-1 right now. They just had a loss against Georgia, which he possibly played his worst game. And when you watch the game, because I watched that game live, and I was like, man, Hendon Hooker is not having a good game. There's a lot of time he missed a couple guys deep. He overshot a couple of guys. But after rewatching that game, I have a whole completely different outlook on it. Even though I actually, going into this week, I actually had Hendon Hooker above Bryce Young. And then after watching both games and rewatching, because I watched both games live and then I rewatched them, I actually did move Bryce up because of, like I said, the specialness that Bryce has. But this is the thing about Hendon Hooker, and especially that game against Georgia. Man, Georgia's front was getting after the Tennessee's offensive line hard. They was getting after the Tennessee's offensive line. They were being very, very physical. And then Georgia might not have I don't know if Georgia got the best defense, but the reason why Georgia's probably the best team in college football is because Georgia's the most physical team. They were beating up everybody on that offense. Georgia's defense was beating up everybody, from the center, from both guards, from both tackles, to the tight ends, to the running backs, to the receivers, and damn sure Hendon Hooker. They were beating up and being extremely, extremely physical. It was plays, when you go back and rewatch that game, there was plays where Hendon Hooker was throwing the football where it was supposed to be to his receivers, and the receivers ain't want no smoke. They did not want no smoke with Ringo and the safe. They did not want any smoke with Georgia's defense. Not one iota. They didn't want no smoke with their defense. They punked them. To be quite honest, they completely punked them. They were being out physical. Cedric Tillman and Hyatt. They were dropping passes like hot potatoes. They wasn't ready for that physicality that Georgia was ready to bring. They was not ready for that at all. They were underprepared, or they just completely just punked out. And it actually hurt Hendon Hooker. But even still, he still was efficient enough. And he's still at 71% completion percentage going for the season. I think he's a very, very efficient quarterback. He has a decent arm. A very good arm, not just say decent. He has a very damn good arm. Again, also another guy that has very, very good mechanics. Throws beautiful passes. He throws beautiful rainbows. The passes where they're supposed to be. He can move out of the pocket as well. He's able to make things happen with his legs as well. People try to compare him to Deshaun Watson. He's not. If you want to give an NFL comparison to him, I think it's Donovan McNabb. I think he is Donovan McNabb. And however you feel about Donovan McNabb, if Hendon Hooker has Donovan McNabb's career, he's definitely a number one over. He's definitely a first round pick. Donovan McNabb went to 5 NFC Championship games and went to a Super Bowl appearance. Now he only went to 1 Super Bowl and didn't win it, but 5 NFC Championship games, 4 of them in a row, went to 1 Super Bowl and lost it. But in 10 years, half of his career he was spending in the conference game. He was in the Final Four. Of half of his career, he finished in the Final Four. And in one of those years, he finished in the Final 2. Now, he didn't finish number 1, but he was always playing. And Philadelphia was always competitive, always going to the playoffs. I think they might have maybe 2 losing seasons under him as him being the quarterback. I think that's somebody. People want to talk about Hendon Hooker's age. He's 24. He'll be 25 when he gets drafted. When it comes to quarterbacks, I'm not concerned. Quarterbacks right now playing till they're 55. Come on, I'm not being concerned. It'd be different if he was. It'd be different if he was an older quarterback and he was doing Lamar Jackson type things. He's beating you with his legs. He's running around. If he was doing all that and he was more so of a runner than a passer, and he was doing like Cam Newton, Tim Tebow type things, then the age would concern me and become like, okay, one, you're not going to be able to hold that up, and two, now you are a grown man playing against little kids, playing against 20-year-olds. But him being 24, 25, whatever, he's just sitting back delivering the football. It don't matter if you're old or not because you ain't doing nothing but delivering the football, putting the football where it's supposed to be, picking the defense apart. Now, I guess you could say, oh, he's picking the defense apart. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. He has a lot of talent. I think he should be somebody that goes in the back half of the first round, though. Back half of the first round, possibly in the second round. But to me, he's my third best quarterback in this draft. I said my comparisons would be, like I said, Donovan McNabb. Like I said, he delivers passes accurately. He's very, very accurate, very, very efficient. Like I said, good arm, able to move around the pocket. I see him make some shifty moves as well and then get back into a good quarterback stance. Like he has a good quarterback form. He uses his feet well, turns his hips. I think he's the number one. I think he's the number 3 quarterback in the process. Now, the fourth guy, and he's beginning a lot of run as being the possible number 1 guy, and I don't really see it. And that's Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. Now, he's a big guy as well. He's 6'3", 232 pounds. As of right now, he has 143 completion percentage. He has 143 completions off of 210 attempts for 68.1 completion percentage, 1,903 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Now, I think it's more so because he plays in the pro-style offense. He plays in the pro-style offense. He is a big, strong arm. Yeah, he probably has the second best arm in this draft outside of CJ, possibly. He has moxie, and he's tough. And he's a guy, it's like you hit him, and he bounce up, and he'll get back in your face. And that moxie and that grit. And I think that's what people are intrigued by. I don't know if that's going to help him play quarterback. To me, my comp for him is Mr. Trubisky. And I use this, I said the kind of same thing when it came into the 17th draft. When you had Mahomes, you had Deshaun Watson. They had to throw Mr. Trubisky in there. A quarterback that played at basketball school. Will Levis. Because we've been talking about Bryce Young and CJ Stroud for the past year and a half. Will Levis, come out of nowhere. Quarterback from a basketball school. Kentucky. Now, he's cleaned up a lot. His last game, he actually played a decent game. But game against Tennessee, only had like 70-some yards, 3 interceptions. The game against Florida, they laid the egg, even though they beat Florida. Either they play Bama or they play Georgia coming up pretty soon. So you'll see exactly how he'll do coming up. But I really don't see it. I don't see a first-round talent, to be honest. I think he's going to go first round, and I think he's going to go possibly, more likely he'll go third, but anywhere between 1 and 3 out of the quarterbacks. I ain't saying he's going number 1, but he could go number 1 overall. He could be the first quarterback taken, or he could be the third quarterback taken. I don't think he'll go. I think he'll get drafted before Hendon Hooker, and I think Hendon Hooker is the better quarterback. I do think he'll get drafted before Hendon Hooker. Just don't see it. Just don't see first round talent. I don't. I know the moxie and the big arm and the big guy and the grit and all that type of stuff. Don't see NFL quarterback as of right now. I think he's gonna need some polishing. I think he's somebody you need to be taking in the second or third round. But he has gotten a lot of runs. He's gonna continue to get more runs, especially when the pro days come and the combine comes. He's gonna definitely shoot up them boards. I don't think he should be that high of a draft pick, but that's where teams are gonna have him. But I have him as my 4th-rated quarterback in this draft. And the last guy I have is a guy who had got some run very, very early on in the process, but has cooled off a lot tremendously, and I think he might need to go back to school. And that's Anthony Richardson, the quarterback out of Florida. Now, when you talk about him, he's 6'4", 232 pounds. He has 131 completions off of 235 attempts for only 55.7 completion percentage, 1,839 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7 picks. But then he also has 74 rushes for 492 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. He's tied with their running back with the most touchdowns. And just a big, strong arm guy. Like I said, he's 6'4", 239 pounds, 32 pounds. And he runs a legit 4.4, y'all. Like, from everybody out here talking, he actually runs a legit 4.4. 6'4", 230, running a legit 4.4. You can't teach that. Has a strong arm and can make plays. I think he's comfortable to a guy, another guy play for Cam. Same measurables as well. I think he will benefit from going back another year in college because he had got a lot of run that first game of the season. We had a whole bunch of rush yards, a whole bunch of rush touchdowns. Oh, he could be top 10. Oh, he might even be the first quarterback took it. And then he has the game against Kentucky and falls off. Now, he played very well against Tennessee in that duel and loss. He played very well against A&M this past week. There's another game he played very well in too recently. He's made strides he's made a lot of strides from week 1 to where he is now. I don't know if he's going to make enough strides from now into the draft process to obviously get into the top 10, the top first round again, or possibly a second round. But I damn sure believe if he comes back another year in school, he possibly could be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. I believe the way he's made strides from week 1 to now, if you give him a year, he can make strides to being the first quarterback taken in next year's draft. My advice to Anthony Richardson is to go back to school, play another season, get Florida up. Possibly you could be competing for a national championship, more likely competing for a Heisman, and be able to put yourself to be a number 1 overall pick. Now, if you get a lot of talk, I know you probably talk to agents, especially now they can talk to agents, and probably get a feel. And if he in the field to be a mid to early second, possibly late first, and obviously you're going to take that. But he's nowhere near polished and nowhere near ready to play in the NFL. Because even if he does come out, he has to sit. As far as a starting quarterback, now maybe if you want to throw him in and do packages here and there with some runs and stuff like that. But for you to depend on him to be your guy, not now. Not now. He's going to have to wait and sit behind somebody, hopefully a veteran that knows how to play. Like maybe not Tom Brady, but something like that. But like a veteran that can play for another year or two, maybe a Kirk Cousins type situation, a guy who could play for another couple of years, he sit back and learn and things like that. Like, that's what he would need because he's not ready. That's why I have him as my 5th best quarterback. From a talent standpoint, he has all the tools except the mechanic-wise to be better than everybody. But he doesn't have the mechanics. He doesn't have the mechanics yet. But he's done a lot of leaps and bounds from week 1 to now. So that's why I have him rated as my 5th best quarterback in the draft. Let's say C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, my number 1 quarterback. My number 2 quarterback, my NFL confident is my number 1 quarterback is C.J. Stroud, quarterback at Ohio State, and my NFL confident is Joe Burrow. My 2nd quarterback is Bryce Young out of Alabama. My NFL confident is a smaller Deshaun Watson. Hendon Hooker is my 3rd quarterback. Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee. My NFL confident is Donovan McNabb. My 4th quarterback is Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. My NFL confident is Mitchell Trubisky. And Anthony Richardson is my 5th quarterback out of Florida, who I believe needs to go back to college. But my NFL confident is an unpolished Cam Newton. And like I said, if he comes back another year in school, he could have a Cam Newton type run, national championship, Heisman type situation, and elevate himself to be the number 1 overall pick like Cam Newton was. So, especially in today's NFL, where teams are more happy and more willing to do those type of things offensively for their quarterbacks, give yourself another year to make sure you could grow more as a quarterback, as a pocket passer, and fix your mechanics. Especially when you out here throwing 55% completion percentage, you have 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not going to cut it. You have to advance that, but you have the measurables, the size, the arm strength, the mobility. Like I say, you 6'4" running a 4.4. Like, come on, dude. Come on, bro. Like I said, man, make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all comment on the video, share the videos. Hey, shout out to Whataburger with the new chili cheese hamburger. Hey, Whataburger, your boy needed an endorsement. Hey, Hashtag Spitz to get endorsement in Whataburger. Hashtag Spitz endorses Whataburger. That's what y'all need. Y'all need to help your boy get endorsement in Whataburger. So if you have a local Whataburger, make sure you go get a hamburger, get that chili cheeseburger with the white chocolate raspberry shake, and make sure you tell their manager that your boy Spitz off of YouTube referred you. You need to try to get this endorsement, baby. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.